Okay, what does Sonic look like as a father? Where did he go? If there's one thing a Sonic fan would tell you, it's to stay far away from the Sonic the Hedgehog Archie series. You know, Dr. Robotnik permanently dying Archie Sonic, implied misconduct with an evil version of Sonic Archie Sonic, Jeremy B getting brain damage Archie Sonic, crossover with Sabrina the Teenage Witch Archie Sonic. I learn something new every day, huh? However, what if I told you that Archie Sonic was actually pretty cool? You know, I did need more decoration. Believe it or not, there are many stories in Archie Sonic that are actually worth your time. There's the Genesis Wave arc, the Shattered World saga, the crossover with freaking Mega Man, and a whole bunch of others. Back when I was younger, I was an avid fan of almost all of these stories, but one of them stood out to me. It wasn't necessarily the best, but it was also so different from the other arcs that it oddly intrigued me almost as much as the greats from Archie Sonic when I was a kid. And that arc was the Light Mobius story, or 30 years later as it's called in the book. Taking place far into the future, Light Mobius is a pretty stark turnaround from the usual status quo found in regular Archie Sonic. To figure out exactly what this means, I reread the Light Mobius arc for the first time in nearly 10 years, and after numerous requests, I am finally ready to firmly state my thoughts on it, and if you know how the Sonic community goes, this may become the popular opinion. So, Light Mobius is really split up into different timelines, I guess. It started when writer Ken Penders wrote a few slice-of-life stories involving Sonic and his friends and their hypothetical kids. However, at the end, Sonic had to travel through time in order to fix some paradox. Despite leaving it on a cliffhanger, Ken could never finish the story since he left the comic in 2006. That was until Ian Flynn became the head writer for the full comic and wrote his own story to put this miniseries to a close. Ian's part in the story takes place in an entirely different timeline from the original. In this timeline, Sonic failed his time-traveling mission and was removed from the timeline. So, without Sonic, Shadow, for some reason, pulled up and destroyed Dr. Robotnik and conquered the frickin' world. To keep Shadow at bay, Sally Acorn, Sonic's girlfriend, chose to stand up and marry the man. Unlike the Sonic from the original timeline, Shadow's more about getting things done. He's almost the exact opposite from Sonic's more laid-back way of ruling. Wait a minute. Two sides that want to rule land that have completely different mentalities. One is blue, one is red. Oh my god! Despite the split in the timeline, a select few remembered events from that previous timeline. Tails, Knuckles, Rotor, and Knuckles' daughter Laura Sue partially. Leon Dawn, Knuckles' wife's mom, I'm getting that right, I think, also remembers things from the previous timeline. I don't know how, I don't know if she was involved in the timeline scheme, but we won't have to worry about her soon. Tails, seeing everything that this timeline has to offer, goes up to Knuckles and tells him, hey, bro, we gotta get Sonic back, we gotta get everyone together and kill King Shadow. And Knuckles is like, shut up, Tails, I'll kill you. Despite Knuckles not being able to help, his daughter Laura Sue stands up as the future guardian to help find Sonic. After hours of searching, Tails and Laura go to a back alley and see, oh my gosh, it's him! Mr. Hooba Dooba himself lying on the concrete with the friggin'... Is that chili on that hot dog? That better not be chili. Tails informs Sonic that while he and a few others were able to survive the timeline paradox, Sonic's kids couldn't. Wait, hold on, go back. He named his kids Sonia and Manic? Like his siblings that were both voiced by Steve Urkel in Sonic Underground?
Triplets born, the throne awaits. A seer warns of a deadly fate.
Either way, the squad's got a plan. Break into Castle Mobius, get rid of King Shadow, and put Sonic back in his rightful place as the king.
You're all under arrest for treason.
Knuckles has put our heroes in prison. Oh yeah! Can I just say, Knuckles looks so raw! Like, I freaking love the little robotic eye patch he's got. Oh, yes, the hat. However, Knuckles putting the group in prison was all a facade. To keep Shadow from getting a little suspicious with it, he quietly breaks everyone out and helps Sonic storm Castle Mobius. And now it's time for the big fight, as Sonic says, the Battle Royale. Holy crap, that's so raw! Shadow beats up Sonic and tells him that his life is literally worth less than a summer ant. But too bad, so sad. Laura Sue comes in and freezes Shadow with chaos control. She's not sure how long it'll last, but she doesn't think her great-great-great-great-great-grandkids will have to worry. Cool. Knuckles and Laura Sue go home, and Sonic and Sally talk for the first time in 25 years. One page later, they're kissing on the mouth and talking about having kids. I wish it was that easy. Well, looks like Sonic didn't have to wait long, because allegedly very shortly after, it looks like he got to go all out after all. I'll get the bullet from the wall. Fast forward 5 years later, and Mobius has officially entered its first half-decade of peace. Sonic, Sally, and their new kids, Sonia and Manic,
Triplets born with the throne away.
are watching a news broadcast on their television. Tomorrow, Sonic has a big speech, so in preparation, he and Sally are going out on a dinner date. Our goat Laura Sue comes in to babysit the kids to put them in bubbles and put them to sleep. Wow. In the background of all of this, Leonda and her enforcers at the Dark Presence are planning a big revenge plot on the royal family for dethroning King Shadow. And speaking of the royal family, here's not the royal family. That's right, Miles Tails Prower married Mina Mongoose and had children. Tails was 8 years old when Mina Mongoose was almost a fully grown adult. Meet Sky and Melody Prower, the children of... no, Miles. Yeah, say bye-bye to Tails because nobody calls him that no more. It's Miles now. Can you imagine people in a restaurant going, "Whoa, it's Tails!" And he goes, "It's not Tails anymore. It's Miles. Miles Prower? Don't mind if I do." While everyone's at awe at Tails using his actual freaking name, we see the Dark Presence preparing for the major revenge plot. What could it possibly be? Well, whatever it is, they better make it quick, because Sonic is about to make his big speech to everyone on Mobia. Are they gonna JFK Sonic the Hedgehog? Laura Sue immediately takes action and knocks out the Dark Presence soldiers that plan to Lincoln Sonic. She grabs their rocket launcher and is utterly confused at the lack of ammunition until she realizes Leonda had the actual rocket launcher the whole time. Oh my gosh, it's finally happening! Sonic's going to die! I should have mentioned this comic came out in 2006. That's right, at the last second, Silver the Hedgehog comes from 170 years from the future to save Sonic. And that's where the first part ends. Wow, that was kind of a freaking insane start. Establishing that Sonic and Sally were able to get busy upon 5 minutes of meeting each other 25 years after being absent from each other. Further confirming that Miles Prower got with someone that's almost over 10 years older than him. And Sonic the Hedgehog further proving that nothing bad ever happens to the acorns. I should not say that. Well, moving on to the second part, Sonic, Sally, and Silver are all discussing the day that just happened. 170 years into the future, the world is destroyed, and he believes that the Dark Presence has something to do with it. Silver suggests the idea of bringing back the Freedom Fighters. While they disbanded years ago, they did plan on seeing a few of them who were formerly on the team, but not anymore! Here comes the Dark Presence, who are apparently sleeper agents across the Castle Mobius for a few years. They knock out Miles, Mina takes the kids to the middle of the street, then goes back and gets knocked out herself. What a smart idea. The Dark Presence continues to make their presence known by knocking out Silver the Hedgehog. Sonic snatches the agent's gas gun and knocks them the frick out. Sonic says he'll take care of the Dark Presence while Sally takes Silver and the kids to a locked room. We get a verbal fight scene, kiss scene, Sonic the Hedgehog says winning arguments for married men around the world, end scene. Laura Sue joins Sonic and the two break out of Castle Mobius to reach the streets. Sky and Melody spot Sonic and tell him about what happened to Tails and Mina. So, the group are gonna go to Vector's kid's house? Vector had a kid?! With Sonic out of the picture, the Dark Presence has officially seized Castle Mobius. Leonda and a few soldiers bring this little doohickey called the Cipher of Chaos to a capsule. What is this capsule holding? Well, he's back, baby. That's right, boys. The Shad is back. The Shad just can't be beat. This thus puts part 2 to a close. Overall, I mean, it's alright. The complete 180 from part 1 has already really settled in, so it doesn't really feel like a lot's happening here, even though a lot is happening here. Well, maybe part 3 will be crazier. And that part starts with Sally taking Silver, Manic, and Sonia.
Triplets born, the throne away.
Lots going on. Sonic, Laura Sue, Sky, and Melody all show up at Argyle the Crocodile's house. Argyle brings up that whenever Laura Sue called him, he immediately also called up Bunny and Antoine's kids. Okay, let's all be real. Every Archie fan knew that these characters were going to exist at some point. So, this implies that Antoine was able to survive getting his head blown off. Well, if he can do it, so can I. Here's the bullet from the wall. Shoot me! So, with Argyle, Jack, and Belle, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not French. We officially have our new Freedom Fighters group. Minus Rotor's kid, I guess. Meanwhile, Shadow is preparing to awaken Chaos, a fusion of Tikal and Chaos. I don't know how that happened, but that's actually kind of freaking cool. Leonda comes up to Shadow and she's like, Shadow, Chaos is gonna freaking destroy the world. What are you doing? This is too much. And guys, I don't think you're gonna see this coming. Leonda dies! Oh no! Who could have possibly seen this coming? And here we are, officially full circle. Sonic the Hedgehog is once again seizing Castle Mobius. With Sonic, Jack, and Belle storming them directly, and Laura, Sue, Melody, and Sky on the inside, they actually get through pretty quickly. Almost too quickly. It's almost like there's something bigger ahead. Oh. Oh! Using his Chaos abilities, King Shadow has turned T-Chaos to perfect T-Chaos in a matter of seconds. And also brings the end of part 3. Honestly, a pretty fire section. We get to know that Antoine lives, Vector has a kid, and T-Chaos might be the rawest Sonic fusion of all time. Granted, it's the only Sonic fusion of all time. Well, enter part 4 with freaking Bell saying, "As Papa might say, mon Dieu." I'm so happy this is a comic because I don't think I can freaking handle myself hearing Bell and Wait. There's an S in So it's Jacquise? Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Bro, I don't think I could handle myself hearing Bell and Jacquise actually speak. Their mother is Southern and their father is French. Well, Laura Sue starts info dumping about Chaos, but she never really goes into why Tikal and Chaos fuse. She emphasizes that, yeah, it's Tikal and the water god Chaos together, but she doesn't say why. But really, it doesn't matter. This is still the most fun Sonic character of all time. That's such a fun idea, bro. Shadow remains on the sidelines in the fight, apologizing to Maria that he's going to ravage Chaos onto Mobius. Wow. What a great way to honor the legacy of a friend who was murdered in space. Destroy the planet she loved. Sonic puts Laura Sue in charge of trying to figure out a plan while he goes to the castle ruins to save Sally, Silver, Sonia, and Manic.
Triplets born!
Honey, he's home. Sonic reunites with Sally, his kids, and Silver to bring them to safety and figure out a plan to stop Chaos. While this is all happening, apparently Shadow screwed up so hard that the Dark Presence is now helping the freaking Freedom Fighters bring the entirety of Mobius to safety. Wow! With that, Miles and Mina are now free to join in the fight against Chaos. Laura brings up to Sonic that while they're holding on their own just fine, they can't weaken Chaos enough to get rid of her entirely. That is until Sonia and Manic resist, gives Sonic the idea of hitting Chaos in the head like what he did with Perfect Chaos. And there you have it, younger Sonic fans. This is the predecessor to how Sonic Frontiers' script was structured. What's next? Manic's gonna be like, "Hey Dad, why didn't you open a schoolhouse?" After Sonic realizes he's almost 50 years old, he takes this idea and runs with it. With the rest of the Freedom Fighters' help, Sonic is able to reach the top of Perfect Chaos and... The last second, Sonia and Manic... Sorry, frog in my throat. At the last second, Sonia and Manic perform a duo spin attack onto Chaos's brain. And with that, she has been defeated. Laura Sue tames the rage inside of her, and all is well. Well, you know, aside from the flooding, but besides that. After a few jokes are shared, Silver returns to his own time, thus putting an end to the story, but the beginning of the new Freedom Fighters. Oh, don't you worry, we never see them again. Well, 10 years after my initial read, that was the Light Mobius story. Honestly, my thoughts pretty much remain the same from back then. It's a really dope story that's a super interesting twist on the status quo. Should you go out and read it yourself? Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, I can't tell you any ways to buy it since Archie Sonic has been discontinued since 2017, so pirate it. I don't know how hot of a take this would be in the Archie Sonic community, but I think a whole sub-series based around this universe would be really freaking cool. There's so much to these older versions of the characters that we know, along with these newer characters that we know barely anything about. And unfortunately, it's gonna have to stay that way until the day I die. You didn't let me say again, we live in the afterlife. Maybe I shouldn't have given them that bullet that they use on the wall. Oh shoot, Light Mobius is back?